Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? So here we are, day 4, man. I just got into the shop, kind of cleaned up a little bit, and blacked out all my lock sides so I can start laying in these lock bars and scribing them where they need to go. Basically, a lot of people overcomplicate this step, okay? If your design is solid, and this all goes back to the initial design, okay? I design all mine old school. I don't do none of that computer CNC shit. I do it all right on tracing paper, man. Old school, that is my CAD program, okay? Now, when you lay everything out for your lock bars and you're on the tracing paper, what I usually do is I'll take a pin and stick it through where my pivot's going to go and rotate my blade on my drawing and make sure everything's going to line up, detent track, lock bar, the stop pin location, all that. Once you've got that all set and you know it, you could just lay your lock bars in there, man. I mean, it's as simple as that. You just draw them on, drill it, and cut it. Done. Very simple. And that all goes back to the original design. Like I said, if you don't have a solid original design, it's just not going to work, plain and simple. That's why it's important to prototype things too, because sometimes the transition from paper or computer screen or whatever it may be to real material with 3 dimensions and human error screw things up, man, and your solid design may not work. Now, I've done enough of these that I just know where everything needs to go. Basically, my lock bar is going to come and hug the cut right here, is going to come and hug that counter bore pretty much as close as I can get to it without being into it, okay? And it's going to come to just past the end of the counter bore and come straight down to about right here, okay? And I just know that from doing so many of them. It's just like second nature. Each one of these is exactly the same. It's going to hug that counter bore, come out just past it, and go straight down to about here on every single one. And the way I do it is just machine a square, a regular small square, a see-through ruler. Okay, this one's kind of beat, but this is worth its weight in gold. Seriously, I use this thing constantly because I could see through it and see my lines or my holes or whatever it may be that's underneath. It is invaluable to me. I should probably get a new one because this one is losing its see-through ability quite a bit. But nevertheless, I still use it. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these lock bars pretty much scribed on there with a scribe. And center punch where my 1/8 inch holes need to go. And I will click this back on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Alright, welcome back, everybody. So basically I got all these all set up. All the lock bars are scribed on there. Everything's center punched and ready to rock and roll. And basically they're just blacked out magic marker. And you can see there's my vertical line that I'm going to cut. Here's my face cut going along right here, if this thing will focus. There we go. And then just mark out, it's just a rough mark out for where my relief cut's going to be. And I'm basically just going to come through with an 1/8 inch bit and drill both of these holes out. And then we're going to connect the dots. And that's it. If you notice, this is a little tip, a little thing that I do. If you look at my face cut here, where it comes across, and where this mark is, it's just below, if I can get it to show, you can get the general idea. I put my center punch mark just below where I want that cut to be. And the reason for that is this is going to be an 1/8 inch hole here, and I want this cut, taking into account the thickness of my saw blade, to meet up with that hole at the top of the radius of that 1/8 inch bit. And it just gives it a nice kind of rounded effect to it. It's kind of hard to understand it the way it is now, but once I get it all drilled and start cutting them, you'll understand what I mean, why I do it like that. And you always want to use some kind of drill bit. Some kind of hole here and here. Okay, and the reason for that is, and you can use pretty much any size depending on how big you want your holes to be. The reason for doing that is when you run through this and make your cut right here with the cutoff wheel, you don't want to have overshooting lines going past where you want your lock bar to be. Okay, and luckily knock on some wood, I have never done that to date. Okay, because if I did, this thing, all the work that's into it would be in the fucking trash. I've seen it on knives before, dude, and it drives me absolutely nuts. Like, take your fucking time, people, man. What the hell? So I always do holes there, and it's always important to put those holes there so you're not overshooting your cut and then it looks like shit. So that's it. And this face cut here, I leave that until I'm just about to put my D10 in, and then I'll cut that. So that's the last step on the scales, is cutting that face cut there. And the reason I do that is to keep this stabilized, this lock bar stabilized, while I'm contouring or I'm doing machining or any other thing that I'm doing on this. I don't want that thing to move. Okay, so I keep it there so I can, you know, pretty much manipulate it however I need to manipulate it and grind on it without having to worry about it moving around. Because otherwise you got to stick your thumb under it and hold it while you're trying to do stuff and burn the shit out of your thumb. Learned that the hard way. So that's the last thing I do. I think you guys have seen me drill enough holes. I'm going to take this thing off of here. So I'm going to bring these over to the small mill, drill out those 1/8 inch holes real quick, and then we are going to meet up again over here at the big mill, which is pretty much all set up. I got my cutoff wheel on my arbor, my vise mounted, everything ready to rock and roll, and I'll show you how I do this. It's very simple. I've tried to give this tip to people in the past and they just don't fucking listen to me, but they're going to see how goddamn easy it is. Basically, you just line it up, very simple cutoff wheel from friggin' Lowe's, you're done. No shitting around with, what the hell do they call those things? Slitting saws and all the other, call that shit. So, that's it. I'm going to get to it. We will meet up over at the big mill. Catch you in a minute, guys. Welcome back, everybody. Jesus, so this is like the second time I'm recording this because the first time I had it on time lapse still, like a jackass. So it didn't record any of my sound and I was moving at half speed. Anyhow, lock bars are all cut, cleaned them up on the grinder. Right now I've got it set up on a 45 so I can start chamfering and doing all the contouring on these. But I just wanted to touch base on cutting these lock bars, and this is why I try and tell guys that are either struggling with how to do these lock bar cuts or the way that they're doing them now is just not efficient. I mean, look at that. That is dead on. Crisp as can be. Okay? And that's the result you get out of it every time. Not to mention, it's a nice thin cut. It's only 0.45 thick. Okay? So 45 thou thick. Versus guys that are doing them like CNC or with an end mill or however it is that you're doing them. Usually it's like, say you're going with the smaller bits, it's like a 3/64, okay? That's still thinner than a 3/64, and you're not breaking a $15 or $20 bit all the time. And most of the guys that I talk to, unless they've got a solid locked-in system, they're breaking those bits constantly. Versus one of these is about $3, okay? Even the really good ones, like this is what I usually use, these DeWalt HPs, 0.45 thick. But these ones are even better. They're a little bit bigger diameter. They're a 4.5 inch diameter. Same thickness, okay? And they're about $3.50, $4, something like that. I can cut like 25 or 30 lock bars with this one wheel, okay? So how many of you can say that you're cutting 25 or 30 lock bars out of one 3/64 end mill? Probably not that many, okay? So, hey, I'm trying. Tip. Take it, try it, at least try it. Anyhow, so basically I'm gonna hit these up on the grinder. We're gonna chamfer them, we're gonna contour them. I love this part because they really start to come to life now. They're no longer just flat, shiny slabs, which is excellent. This is the part of it that I love, man. When it really starts coming into its own. And then after that, it's laying out blades, man. Typically, I'll lay out blades when I lay out the handles, but for the sake of shooting the video and trying to keep it to, you know, one part of the process at the time instead of being all over the place, I'm going to do the blades after, as you see. But But yeah, that's another part of my favorite part of the process. Grind time, baby. I love grind time. I got chills talking about grind time. I'm telling you, man, I love my fucking job. So anyhow, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to set this camera up in the tripod. We're going to time-lapse the shit out of this. And I will catch you guys in a couple minutes. Later. Hey, welcome back. So I finally got them all done, man. I just finished these up. I spent like, I don't know, the past 4 hours at the grinder getting these all contoured out, all the scales. Beautiful. I love them when they're like this. They are no longer in ugly duckling mode. Everything is lined up perfectly and matched up just the way we like it. Hell yes. Ah, my favorite part, man. So yeah, tomorrow, let's see, what are we going to start on tomorrow? Laying out blades, man. Some of these knives are available. This black adder is going to be a drop point adder. That'll be available. This Zerk show side mini flipper will be available, and this rascal will be available. The rest of these are all spoken for. Getting back to laying on blades, or laying out blades rather. Man, I'm beat. I'm like stuttering my words and shit. This drop point's getting feather Damascus on it, which is beautiful. Oh man, I hope this pattern, there it goes. It sort of shows in here. Can you see it? So that's getting that. We're doing low layer Sanmai and Scarab pattern from Nichols on the 2 full dress ones, which my Mokutai did not show up today. I'm hoping, actually I just checked it, so I know it will be here tomorrow. Along with the rest of my hardware, because like a dumbass I didn't order enough hardware. It just looks like a dime bag sitting there, or a 20 bag, but it's not. It's bearings. Don't get excited, fucking savages. Anyhow, so yeah, that one's getting that. A couple of these blades are going to be getting Nitro V. I'll be trying that out. And then the other ones, let's see, the mini flipper right here with the Zerk show is going to get, what was that one getting? I think Tsunami. I think we're going to do some Tsunami pattern Damascus on that, which will look awesome. And then the Rascal is going to get all lightning. Pretty much everything on it is going to be lightning. I'm going to lightning the shit out of it, man. Basically, the blade will be lightning. I'm going to do it as a bolster lock as well. So basically, from like there down on both scales will be all lightning Damascus. And then I'll do pivot collars in lightning, the clip in lightning, the whole friggin' nine. I'm going to go a little ape shit with that one with the lightning because I love it. And it looks so good when you just like two-tone it with just lightning and regular blasted tie that's just lightly stonewashed. Oh, God, it looks so good. So, that's that, man. And then what else is going on? I think that's about it. I think I pretty much covered it all. I don't know. I'm too tired to think about it, actually. But that's okay. Yeah. So, everybody, I hope you're enjoying these videos. They are a lot of extra effort. They are a lot of extra time. Because I can't just go home and fucking chill like I want to. I've got to edit videos and do all kinds of silly shit. So, I hope you're enjoying them. And if you're not enjoying them, tough shit. You're going to fucking enjoy them anyway because I'm going to post them. Everybody have a great goddamn night. And I will catch you tomorrow.